This is my 2019 Audi S5 Sportback, and today we're trying to break into the 9-second quarter-mile club. We've got 12 hours to install a whole list of performance upgrades, but it won't be without its setbacks. We've got a lot to do, so let's hit the garage.
Hey, we are in Jeremy's garage today, and he's got something to show you.
So for a while now, I've been talking about getting my S5 running in the 9-second quarter miles. Today, we've got a whole bunch of parts that I think will finish off my build and help us get there.
Now, underneath the hood, Jeremy has Stage 3 Plus. That includes their inner engineering, carbon fiber intake, their turbo inlet, as well as the TT810. Now for fueling upgrades, he's got the APR high pressure fuel pump, RS6 injectors, and for cooling, he's running an inner engineering FDS intercooler. We'll be upgrading that today, but moving forward, all he's running is also an inner engineering downpipe to make sure that he's maximizing his gains.
David's here today helping us. He's got a channel called Need for Build. If you haven't yet, go check him out. He's gonna help us do a bunch of installs today, but we think we can pull this thing off in about 12 hours. We'll start the timer here in just a minute. Let's go through everything that we have that we're gonna put on the car today. First, we've got Integrated Engineering's race intercooler that we're gonna put on the front. We're replacing the FDS intercooler like we mentioned before. We've got their charge pipe kit to help make sure this transition works well. We've got their downpipe I'm going to be replacing because we had a DLAM issue on the other one and they were great. Took care of it and replaced it. And their new mid-pipe set. Maybe not that big. Mid-pipe, going to replace the BPS set that I have on my car. Moving on to 034, we've got their motor mounts that we're going to be putting on to help transfer some power to the ground, along with a transmission mount that I can't believe I haven't put on my car yet, and the cool new ZTF 01s that you see over there, and their cool spacer and wheel spring kit. Finally, we've got the JXB Driveshaft Carrier that we're going to put in and make sure that that helps, again, transfer as much power to the ground as we possibly can. Well, we were all ready to get going, and life had different plans for us today, so we are, 4 hours into the 12-hour build, and the car's not even up on the jack stands yet. Luckily, we didn't start the timer until we get the car up, but the quick jacks had an issue, so we're working on it. In the meantime, I think we're going to go ahead and get started on taking care of removing the intake, removing the heat shield, and all of the parts and pieces so we can at least get the intercooler done, the downpipe done, the new charge pipes on, and any other things we can get to without the car being on jacks. Dave is just flexing. Well, we got the car up on quick jacks. We did still have the malfunction, but we're able to get it on the first stop safely. So we're gonna proceed, see how today goes. All right, so the coolest thing about this build, maybe it's not the coolest, but the biggest challenge, we're gonna try to do this all in 12 hours. We're gonna start the timer right now. Now.
There it is.
Woo! Boom. Let the countdown begin.
I did not start early.
We got to work straight away removing the under tray, the intake, and the turbo inlet. Then under the car to get those mid pipes off and get ready for the new one.
A little bit of it. Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, there's a bolt.
Look at that.
Yep.
And here's this.
Wonderful.
And one side is that.
No.
Downpipe officially coming out.
Look at that. Part.
Come on.
Should we highlight
You
the
do it.
delamination? Oh no, we have to remove the whole turbo?
He's that good. He's that good, ladies and gentlemen.
So Integrated Engineering sent a new downpipe because we had the DLAM issue. As we said, they spent a lot of money redeveloping this to handle the higher heat loads. You can see there's 3 cores on this one as opposed to the one on that one. So we're gonna pop this one in and see how it goes.
Yeah, baby.
Run the shit out of it.
Yeah.
We'll go chips and drink. Yeah, very important part of the day. We got Adam making a lunch run and going to get an extra part for the quick jack because we really want to get this thing up off the ground a little bit more. And Dr. David over here is ready to go to work.
Crikey! What we have here is one of the most amazing things I've seen in a while.
Horrible. All right, mate. You got these out. Now we gotta move on to the other side.
That was terrible.
That's like English and Crocodile Hunter. It's okay.
We'll try again on the next side. Next step is going to be removing the front bumper, and we're going to let David get to work on getting those motor mounts replaced. With David and I both hopped up on energy drinks and working together, we were able to quickly remove the bumper, the crash bar, and pull the charge pipes off the old intercooler, making it ready to get it out of the way so we could put in the brand new one.
All right, intercooler coming up next. Good old IE intercooler. How does it work for you, huh?
You've done the majority of it. I'll just keep feeding you energy drinks and you keep going.
Got it. Should slide right out. Okay.
Got it?
Sweet!
Look at
Take it home.
Charge pipe with the Greddy blow-off valve.
Officially out.
Goodbye.
Before we loosen anything else, I'm gonna disconnect the engine mount from the engine
Using an M14 triple square, breaker bar, and a few brain cells. Ready? Ugh. Nice.
Okay, good enough.
Yep.
Now, this one.
If you're wondering why David's doing most of the work today, it's because he was kind enough to come help, and he's done a bunch of this stuff a lot more recently than we have, so he jams through it a lot more quickly. With the engine safely supported from above, we removed the last of the bolts and dropped the subframe. With that done, we can remove the first of the two motor mounts and get ready to install the new ones.
There's our passenger side. So this boy, this is the hard one. This one is where we have to pry the subframe down as much as we possibly can.
I carefully pried down on the subframe with a long crowbar while David pulled the motor mount on the driver's side. We then compared the old ones to the new ones to see the difference in the shape between the two. By this time, Adam had returned with the parts we needed for the quick jacks, and we finally got the car higher up off the ground.
So we have to have room to work. Yeah?
Yeah. David quickly installs the passenger side mount, and we move on to the driver's side.
2, 1.
Once again, many hands make light work. As I push down the subframe with a long crowbar, he's able to quickly move the driver's side mount into place. With both of the new motor mounts firmly in position and the bolts tightened to spec, we get ready to put the floor jack under the subframe and push everything back up into place. One important note on this install is once you've completed everything, make sure you get to your local shop and get an alignment done on your car to ensure that it tracks properly. I like to go to Auck Tuning in Redmond because they're freaking awesome.
How hard do I need to flex?
Yeah, just make it look real good.
So now we're gonna lower the engine on the new engine mounts, make sure that everything aligns, and then we can secure our brand new 034 engine mounts to our engine, not motor. Engine.
Yes. Very important. We don't run EV vehicles. Those have motors.
So, Adam, if you're looking on one side, that should be right there.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn close. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Quick.
Yeah. We have our engine mount bolt. Put it right back in. Bolt it in again. Just can't wait to bolt it in again.
All right, so at this point in the day, we are now at the point where David's been able to get the engine mounts in place, got those all bolted up, and we're about to get the engine drop back down on the subframe. Once we do that, we're gonna move on to the next couple of steps. I'll tell you what those are here in a sec. You do good work, David.
Thank you. Next step would be to install the inner engineering charge pipes and intercooler. But the hard part is actually getting to all that. In order to do that, we basically have to pull the entire core support off and put the car into something that's called service mode. Now, there's only one way to do it, and you just gotta pull this ready support forward, tilt it like this. That's gonna give us ample working space to pull everything off that we need to do. And I'll show you guys what needs to come off in just a second here.
Putting the whole front assembly into service mode might seem a little bit intimidating at first. It's really not that bad. You've only got a couple of bolts to remove up front, a few on the headlights, and then 2 to the frame that allow the entire thing to slide forward once they're removed.
All right, so we've got some long 1/4-inch extensions going through this hole here just to help so this doesn't completely fly off when we rock it back into service mode. You can get longer bolts that'll thread into here in order to accomplish the same thing, but I didn't have them, so here we are. This is all of the extra room that you gain so that you can get access and install your charge pipes. Super fun.
With the car in service mode, the old charge pipes come out super fast. And while it's definitely necessary for this install, I really wish I would have used it in some of the other ones that I've done.
One of the very cool things about the integrated engineering charge pipe setup is that we are replacing the charge pipe that goes all the way up here, which is quite a bit more extensive than any of the other charge pipe kits on the market.
And to start off with our charge pipes, we're going to install this adapter from IE. It goes right on the turbo. There's a screw on the top and the bottom. It's a 4mm Allen.
And while David's getting those new charge pipes all lined up and ready to go back in the car, we thought we'd check in on how we were doing on our time.
Yep.
There is just 4 hours and 46 minutes left in this.
Oh no! Freak out!
Yeah.
Freak out!
Are we gonna make it? I don't know if we're gonna make it. We'll see if we're gonna make it. We've had a lot of challenges today, but we've just pushed through. Quick jacks finally up and running, cars going. Like, we're making progress. We'll check back in 2 hours.
And if we haven't mentioned about the quick jacks, there's a puddle of hydraulic fluid under here. So, and now we have 2 units. That might just kind of be an indicator of what is it? Yeah, what a day.
But look at this. Full car is apart, the motor mount or engine mounts are in, and new charge pipes are going on. Intercooler next. We're gonna keep trucking. Honestly, David's just doing all the work.
Free labor. Ah!
Do you have a David? Everybody needs a David.
Real talk.
Need for Bill. Sorry.
And with David buttoning up the charge pipe install, I thought now would be a good time for us to go ahead and take a look at the 2 intercoolers side by side.
Okay, here's a quick comparison between the IE race intercooler and the IE FDS, their normal intercooler upgrade. This one weighs about 29 pounds, and we measured a 10-pound difference between these two. This one's about 40, so it was 39 pounds. And sure, you're going to be adding a little bit of weight, but these are both FDS, so they're doing a good job. There's higher efficiency in the core, and there's less volumetric drop. This one is also black, so stealth mode is more enabled than having the speed shifter.
Now it's time to get this bad boy installed in the front of the car. Start buttoning up all the bolts and the hoses. Make sure everything is clamped down good and tight. Don't forget to put those clamps on before you put the hoses on the intercooler. And now it's time for some beauty shots. That thing is fat.
Amp it up!
Let me get you a selfie.
1,000 milligrams of caffeine. Minimum. Minimum.
How much time do we have?
3.5 hours, guys. We have 3.5 hours. Jeremy has done zero work at all. I've been completely doing this entire project by myself, but it doesn't matter. What matters is this car is gonna run a 9-second quarter mile. That's the most important part. So if you guys have been enjoying this build so far, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below on what your favorite modification we've installed so far. And now let's get the scratch bar back on and keep moving forward. Jeremy already has a 034 transmission insert, but to do the mount, you need to pull the entire transmission support off. So we got the transmission supported, and all I need to do is basically unscrew these bad boys. We got some M12 triple squares, and this comes off, revealing the backside of this transmission mount. There's 4 bolts that are also M12 triple square as well. Boom. That. And right here is our transmission mount that we need to replace.
Oh, just to pry it out.
Yeah.
Nice I see.
to knock it out.
Get a little left.
Yes. So if you look how much play this one has, it's quite a bit of play right there. And this one, let's move this out of the way. This one's very tight. It's much denser rubber. Those of you that are watching, I do recommend that you use the 034 insert and mount together to get everything out of your setup. And now we can get our bolts installed right back where we need to go. Over here, we finally have access to our Driveshaft Carrier. And if I can show you guys how much movement it has, look how much movement that is. So what we need to do is we need to cut the driveshaft mount right here and right here, twist it around and take it off, and then install our new JXP driveshaft mount.
When we get through them both, let's go. All right.
Didn't touch it.
I'll do the rest. Nice, good job, man.
Oh, are you
Light work.
Recording.
Light work.
We've cut through the metal on the old Driveshaft Carrier. It's time to very carefully use a utility knife to cut away the old rubber bushing. The new Driveshaft Carrier comes in 2 pieces. You slip it on over the top of the driveshaft, bolt it together, put it in place, and then it's ready to help you put some power down to the pavement. And now that that's installed, we're going to move on to the mid pipes.
All right, so we are getting the IE mid pipes bolted up. First, we put on the bracket for the exhaust hanger here, and then we kind of threaded this all up through here. The nice thing, or not so nice, we'll let you know in a minute, is that we don't have any hangers up here to deal with at this point in time. So we're just putting these 2 on either side, and then we'll run the other section to connect back to the OEM exhaust here in a second.
And while I get the rear section of the mid pipes installed, David and Adam are tackling the reassembly of the front clip, including putting the downpipe in and ready to bolt up to the mid pipe section of our exhaust system. Unfortunately, that's when we run into our next problem.
All right, I am working on getting this upper bumper support in here. It's going to bolt up here where the hood latch goes on, but because this intercooler is so fat, I actually have to cut some of this out. So what I'm planning on doing is I've already trimmed off right here, straight down, same thing on this side, and then I have to cut this off, so there'll be this little part that stands right up here. I'll show you what it looks like after I fit it, but what I wanted to show you is that on the back side, Audi already made a line for you to follow. So what I'm gonna do is right where this kind of top dip is here, there's a line that goes all the way straight across. I'm gonna follow that, and that should give me enough to fit on the intercooler. We'll see what it looks like after I cut.
It's like Audi knew that this race intercooler was gonna happen, so they're like, yeah, we're just gonna mark it for the future install.
So look at this.
Dude, look at that. Oh, I've never seen better fitment. Oh my
I could get
goodness.
some of that plastic cleaned up.
Oh my goodness.
Here's a quick shot showing the true strength of this intercooler.
Just a couple more bolts to get the mid pipe connected to the down pipe, and as always, they're stubborn and have us doing unnatural acts just to get everything seated up and ready for the front bumper to go on and call this build almost done.
All right, well, David left us. We have 41 minutes and 44 seconds left to go in the build. Last thing to do is just button up the under tray, wheel well liners, and that's it. Whatever those things are.
Yep, there's a couple more things to bolt up here, and we'll be all tidied up.
All done. I think we're gonna make it. Well, it's 11:02. We're tired. We're gonna put the car down.
It's been more than 12 hours.
13. We missed our deadline by an hour. Hey, with everything that went on, I think that was very good.
Car back on the ground, we figure us and the neighbors want to see how it sounds.
How many codes do you have?
Passenger airbag codes.
With the install done, it was time to hit the track. As you can see, we're putting on the brand new 034 Motorsport ZTF LPO1. Not only do they look amazing, but there's a 2-pound weight savings at every corner of the car. That makes a huge difference when it comes to getting your best times at the track. Because we were trying to get the best times that I've ever run in this car before, we did some weight reduction. We pulled out the back seats, the passenger seat, and anything that added any additional weight to the car, whatever it takes to get to 9 seconds. Paired the wheels up with a set of Hoosier drag radials, and if you've never done that before, let me just tell you, there's a bit of a learning curve. And once I figured out how to use the water box correctly, it was time to race. As the day went on at the track, we were able to dial in the speeds and get faster and faster, just until it started getting a little bit warmer outside. And this is our best run of the day, running ethanol tune at E70 from 034 Motorsport, Stage 3. So with everything going on that day, I didn't really get a chance to record an outro, so I'm doing it right now. The day got warmer and warmer. The density altitude ended up in the 2000s, but we got better and better launches as the day went on. So it was a wash. Our times got faster. The best time we were able to put down was 10.2 seconds, but the trap speeds were a little bit low. We're going to go back. We're going to keep trying. Eventually, we're going to hit that 9 seconds. I think we got it in us, especially if we can hit this fall and really make a go of it. Got some few tricks up my sleeve between now and then. Stick with the channel. Let me know if you like this content. Share your experiences. And happy to help with any advice you need on your build.